The audacity. The absolute nerve of Kiana James to show her face on social media after what just went down at Crown Jewel. You think you can just waltz into Saudi Arabia, cost someone their championship opportunity, and walk away like nothing happened? Tiffany Stratton isn't having it, and frankly, neither should any of you watching this right now. What we witnessed wasn't just a match gone wrong. This was a calculated assassination of dreams, a backstabbing of epic proportions, and the fallout is about to get nuclear. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, if you're as fired up as Tiffy time right now, smash that like button, drop a comment telling me whose side you're on, and share this with every wrestling fan who needs to see what's about to unfold. And listen, if you love drama, intensity, and the kind of wrestling content that keeps you on the edge of your seat, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next on Ring Rumble. Let me paint you a picture of what should have been the greatest night of Tiffany Stratton's career. Crown Jewel. The biggest stage outside of WrestleMania. The lights, the atmosphere, the electricity in that arena. Tiffany had worked her entire life for this moment. Every sacrifice, every drop of sweat, every early morning workout, every late night in the gym. All of it led to this one opportunity to prove she belongs at the absolute pinnacle of women's wrestling. She was this close to capturing championship gold and cementing her legacy as one of the elite competitors in the entire industry. But then Kiana James happened. And not in the way you're thinking. This wasn't some epic showdown between two warriors. This wasn't a competitive back and forth that went down to the wire. No, what Kiana James did was far worse. She inserted herself into a situation where she had no business being. She stuck her nose where it absolutely did not belong, and she single-handedly destroyed everything Tiffany had been building toward. The referee was down. Tiffany had the match won. Everyone in that stadium knew it. Everyone watching around the world knew it. Victory was literally in her grasp, and then Kiana's music hit. The distraction was all it took. Just a few seconds of Tiffany's attention diverted, just a moment of confusion about why this woman, of all people, was making her presence felt at Crown Jewel, and boom, the dream died right there in that ring. The championship slipped through Tiffany's fingers like sand, and all because Kiana James couldn't stand to see someone else shine brighter than her. The jealousy, the envy, the pure, unadulterated pettiness of it all is enough to make your blood boil. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is where Tiffany Stratton showed us all why she's not just another pretty face with a catchy nickname. She didn't sit in the back crying. She didn't go hide in the locker room feeling sorry for herself. She didn't take a few days off to process her emotions or whatever corporate PR speak you want to throw at it. No. Tiffany grabbed her phone, opened up social media, and she went off. And when I say went off, I mean she unleashed verbal hellfire that would make a preacher blush. Tiffany posted, and I quote, "Kiana James, you want to talk about relevance? You want to talk about making an impact? The only impact you made at Crown Jewel was proving that you can't compete at my level, so you have to resort to cheap tactics and cowardly interference. You couldn't beat me when we were in NXT together. You couldn't keep up with me when we were on the same roster. And now that I've ascended to heights you could only dream of reaching, you have the audacity to try and drag me back down to your level? It's not happening. You want a piece of Tiffy time? You're going to get it, but trust me when I say this, you're going to regret every single decision that led you to Crown Jewel." Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fire in those words? This isn't some scripted promo that creative handed her on a piece of paper. This is real emotion. This is genuine anger. This is a woman who had her moment stolen from her, and she's not about to let it slide. The wrestling business has always been about passion, about fighters who refuse to back down, and Tiffany just reminded everyone why she's one of the most compelling performers in the entire company right now. But Kiana James isn't exactly known for backing down from confrontation either, is she? Within hours of Tiffany's post, Kiana fired back with her own response, and let me tell you, she did not come to play nice. Kiana wrote, "Tiffany, sweetheart, let me educate you on something since clearly nobody else has. Crown Jewel wasn't about you. It was never about you. You think you're the center of the universe? You think the whole world revolves around Tiffy time? Wake up. I showed up in Saudi Arabia to remind everyone, especially you, that while you were playing princess on the main roster, some of us were actually working and building our brands. You didn't lose that match because of me. You lost because when the pressure was on, when it actually mattered, you choked. You froze. You proved that underneath all that confidence and all that glitter, you're still the same girl who couldn't handle the big moments. Don't blame me for your failures." Oh, it is on now. This isn't just a heated exchange on social media anymore. This is a full-blown war of words that's threatening to spill over into physical confrontation at any moment. The tension between these two women has been building for years, dating all the way back to their time in NXT when they were both trying to make names for themselves in developmental. There was always an underlying competition, always a sense that these two were on a collision course for something major, but nobody expected it to explode quite like this. Let's rewind for a second because if you're new to this rivalry, you need to understand the history here. Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James came up through the system around the same time. They trained together, they worked dark matches together, they were both touted as future stars of the women's division, but their paths diverged dramatically. Tiffany embraced the character work, leaned into the personality, and became this larger-than-life persona that fans either loved or loved to hate. She got called up to the main roster, started appearing on SmackDown, and quickly established herself as a legitimate player in the championship scene. Kiana, on the other hand, took a different route. She focused on the technical aspects, built herself up as this corporate powerhouse character, and positioned herself as the kind of wrestler who succeeds through intelligence and strategy rather than flash and charisma. She had success in NXT, no doubt about it, but she never quite broke through to that next level. She never got that call up. She never got the opportunities that Tiffany did. And you know what? That clearly ate away at her. The resentment festered. The jealousy grew. And now it's manifested in this ugly, personal attack at the biggest show of the year. The WWE universe is absolutely divided on this situation right now. If you scroll through social media, if you read the comments sections, if you listen to the podcasts, everyone has an opinion, and nobody's staying neutral. Team Tiffany is out here arguing that Kiana had no right to interfere, that she's bitter and jealous, and that she's trying to ride Tiffany's coattails to relevance. They're pointing out that Tiffany earned her spot through hard work and undeniable talent, and Kiana's just salty that she couldn't do the same. But Team Kiana? Oh, they're bringing their own arguments to the table. They're saying that Tiffany is entitled, that she's been handed opportunities because of her look and her character rather than her in-ring ability. They're claiming that Kiana is justified in her actions because Tiffany has been disrespectful to the women who paved the way for her, including Kiana herself. They argue that what happened at Crown Jewel was simply Kiana leveling the playing field and reminding Tiffany that she's not untouchable. And you know what? Both sides have valid points, which is what makes this so incredibly compelling. This isn't a clear-cut hero versus villain situation. This is two women with legitimate grievances, genuine emotions, and conflicting perspectives on what went down. It's messy. It's personal. It's real. And that's exactly the kind of storytelling that makes professional wrestling the greatest form of entertainment on the planet. The big question now is, where does this go from here? Triple H and the creative team have to be salivating at the possibilities. You've got two talented performers, a red-hot rivalry with legitimate heat, and a fan base that's completely invested in seeing how this plays out. The obvious move is to give them a match, but not just any match. This needs to be something special. This needs to be a stipulation that allows them to unleash all this pent-up aggression and settle things once and for all. Survivor Series is right around the corner. Could we see Tiffany versus Kiana added to that card? Or maybe they save it for the Royal Rumble and let the anticipation build even more? There's also the possibility of a multi-week storyline on SmackDown where they torment each other, interrupt each other's matches, and escalate the conflict until management has no choice but to book them in some kind of extreme stipulation match. A street fight? A steel cage? An I Quit match? The possibilities are endless, and every single one of them sounds absolutely incredible. But here's what I think is going to happen, and this is pure speculation based on how these situations typically play out in WWE. I think we're going to see Kiana cost Tiffany another opportunity in the coming weeks. Maybe it's a #1 contenders match. Maybe it's a spot in a multi-woman match at Survivor Series. Whatever it is, Kiana is going to make sure that Tiffany's misery continues. And that's when Tiffany is going to snap completely. That's when she's going to demand a match with stipulations that ensure there's no running, no hiding, and no excuses. We're talking career implications. We're talking personal pride on the line. We're talking about the kind of match that people remember for years. The other element to consider here is how this affects both women's positioning in the overall landscape of the women's division. Tiffany was clearly being built toward a championship program before Crown Jewel. That's not going to go away just because of this setback. If anything, this rivalry with Kiana could be the character development she needs to take that final step into true superstardom. Overcoming adversity, vanquishing a personal demon, and then going on to capture championship gold? That's a story that resonates with audiences. That's the kind of narrative that creates stars. For Kiana, this is her shot at relevance. Let's be honest here, whether you're Team Kiana or not, she wasn't exactly tearing up the headlines before Crown Jewel. She was floating in that dreaded mid-card purgatory that so many talented performers get stuck in. But now everyone's talking about her. Now she's got people's attention. If she can capitalize on this moment, if she can prove that she belongs in the ring with someone like Tiffany Stratton, she could catapult herself into a completely different stratosphere. This is make or break time for Kiana James, and she knows it. The promos alone are going to be must-see television. Tiffany has that natural charisma that jumps through the screen. Her facial expressions, her delivery, her ability to make you believe every word she's saying is all top tier. And Kiana, while different in her approach, has that cold, calculating edge that makes for a perfect foil. When these two get face to face for the first time after Crown Jewel, whether it's in the ring or in a backstage segment, the tension is going to be palpable. You're going to be able to cut it with a knife. What makes this whole situation even more intriguing is the real-life friendship and respect that these two likely have behind the scenes. That's how professional wrestling works at the highest level. You create these intense, personal rivalries on screen, but backstage, you're working together to tell the best story possible. The fact that both women have clearly bought into this program, that they're both willing to go this hard on social media and commit to the emotion of it all, speaks volumes about their professionalism and their understanding of the business. So where does your allegiance lie? Are you Team Tiffany, believing that she was robbed of her moment and deserves justice? Or are you Team Kiana, thinking that she exposed Tiffany's weaknesses and proved that Tiffy time isn't ready for prime time? There's no wrong answer here, but I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and let me know. Tell me who you think should come out on top when these two finally meet in the ring. Tell me what stipulation you want to see. Tell me if you think WWE is going to knock this rivalry out of the park or if you're worried they might drop the ball. And hey, if you've made it this far in the video, you're clearly invested in this story just like I am. That means you're exactly the kind of wrestling fan we want in the Ring Rumble community. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're building something special here, a place where passionate fans can come together, debate, discuss, and celebrate everything we love about this incredible business. We've got more explosive content coming your way, more breaking news, more analysis, and more of the drama that keeps us all hooked on professional wrestling. The Tiffany Stratton vs. Kiana James saga is just getting started, and it's going to be one hell of a ride. Buckle up, because when these two finally collide, it's going to be explosive. Thanks for watching Ring Rumble, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll continue following every twist and turn of this incredible rivalry.